one. I quit school in ninth grade and ran away from home and was on my own until I was 18, of course, and didn't have to hide out from, the cops anymore. But so I didn't have a lot of choices. I didn't have a high school education, didn't have a college degree, but I was a hustler. So I got into the restaurant business because that's anybody can get in the restaurant business. And I worked hard. So 20 years later, I found myself being the director of operations for 3 states for a fast food chain.
Wow.
And I made okay money. This was 1999. I was making about 70 grand a year, pretty dang good for somebody with a not great education. But I
Hmm.
worked 70 hours a week. I drove over 3 states all the time. I never saw my wife or kids. And I was just miserable. And, we lived like most people do. We spent everything we made. We charged Christmas presents up at the end of the year, paid them off with the tax refund, and just lived that way.
Hmm.
But I was miserable. And one night, I had a manager quit, and I had to go run the store while I found a new manager. And I was in the hotel room one night, and I couldn't sleep, and flipping channels, and a Carlton Sheets infomercial was playing. No money down real estate. And I said, well, gosh, it's got to be something better than this. So I ordered it. And when it came, UPS brought it a couple of weeks later, and I actually took the cellophane off the manuals and I read them. And I did what he said to do, which at the time, before social media, was calling FISBO ads in the paper. And that's tough.
Real quick,
But I
Pisbo's
did
for
it
sale by owners, for those who may not know.
for sale by owner. That's right.
Yeah.
And so people paying for an ad, but too cheap to pay a realtor. And I just started dialing every spare minute I had. I was calling people and talking to them. And 30 days later, I bought my first house. And
Nice.
then 30 days, another 30 days, bought a second house and a third and a fourth. And I said, well, gee, this might really work. So I said, I want to quit my job in a year. And I did the numbers and we downsized a little bit. And I said, I need to buy about 25 houses to quit my job. And a year later, I bought 24 and I quit my job. And I've been a full time investor ever since.
I've,
Nice.
what year
Very
do you think
good.
this was?
I bought my first house in June of 1999. So I've been doing this for over 26 years.
Well,
Wow. That's
wow.
awesome.